Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep today, unpacking a story from new.txt about Elliot Foster. This is one of those stories that really makes you think about relationships and what happens when they go wrong, like really wrong.
Yeah. Betrayal, revenge, this source material, it's got it all.
It does. And we're going to unpack it all for you today.
Elliot's life.
Yeah.
It seems so perfect. In the beginning, he's got this great marketing career, a
Yeah.
wife who's like a rising star
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh, on the news.
Vandy White.
That's her. And they've got a young daughter, Emma. Perfect little family.
You didn't
Yeah.
think so at first, but
But there are cracks under the surface right from the start. Andy's job, it takes up so much of her time.
all those late nights at the station.
Right. And Elliot, he's the one stuck at home with Emma, feeling neglected.
Resentful.
Definitely. And that's where the trouble starts. The source really paints a picture of this growing distance between them.
And then Elliot starts to get suspicious. I mean, who wouldn't? With all those late nights.
He talks to his friend, Bill,
Yeah.
about it. And Bill's like, hey, why don't you talk to Jason, Mandy's boss?
So Elliot does.
He does. And he finds out something interesting, that there haven't been any post-show meetings for weeks.
But that's what Mandy's been telling him.
Right, yeah.
Her excuse for all the late nights.
Exactly. So now, Elliot's suspicions, they just grow stronger.
And he decides he has to know the truth.
So one night, he goes to the station, late, determined to find out what's really going on.
And that's when things really start to unravel. He bumps into Jeremiah, the night watchman.
Jeremiah,
And then he finds Mandy.
in the green room with Paul Michaels, her co-anchor.
Talk about a bombshell. I mean, can you imagine finding your wife like that?
And Mandy's reaction, it's almost worse than the affair itself. She's cold. She expects Elliot just to accept it like it's nothing.
No remorse, nothing.
She even uses the divorce laws to her advantage, threatens Elliot with losing custody of Emma if he fights back.
She knows her rights.
She does. And she's not afraid to use them. Elliot's trapped. He's the one who's been wronged, but he's the one who stands to lose everything.
It's just heartbreaking. So he turns to his friend Bill for help.
Right. Bill's like the voice of reason in all of this. He comes up with a plan.
Ah, Bill, the mastermind.
He tells Elliot, confront Mandy one last time, record it.
So Elliot does. He gets Mandy to admit everything on tape. Her ambition, her complete disregard for their marriage vows.
And then Bill works his magic.
A YouTube video appears out of nowhere, carefully edited, exposing Mandy for who she really is.
And it goes viral.
Overnight. From whispers in the office to national news, everyone's talking about it.
The fallout is swift. KTR is in chaos. Jason's furious. Mandy and Paul, they try to hide to save their careers.
But it's too late.
They're both fired. And that billboard, that used to showcase them as Pittsburgh's power couple. It becomes a symbol of their downfall.
Ah, the irony. So Mandy loses everything. Her job, her reputation, and Elliot, he gets what he wanted.
Full custody of Emma. Mandy doesn't even contest the divorce.
But it comes at a price, doesn't it? He's lost his marriage. His life's been turned upside
He
down.
moves back to Columbia for a fresh start, tries to reconnect with his old agency, and then, bump. He runs into Molly Michaels.
Paul's ex-wife.
The very same.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Life is full of surprises, isn't it? We'll dive deeper into all that next time. Last time we left Elliot kind of at a crossroads, back in Columbia.
Yeah.
Starting over, and then, bam, he runs into Molly Michaels.
It's crazy, Ray. Like, of all the people he could have run into,
Talk about awkward.
a little awkward, but also kind of fascinating. I mean, they've both been hurt by the same person, Paul.
Betrayed by the same guy. So I guess in a way, they kind of get each other.
They do. The source talks about this shared experience, this
Mhm.
understanding
Yeah.
that they have because of what Paul did to both of them.
So Elliot reaches out to Molly.
He does. But she's hesitant at first. I mean, can you blame her? She's lost everything, her husband, her best friend, all because of this one guy.
I can't even imagine the pain, the betrayal.
Right. But eventually, she agrees to meet with him.
I wonder why.
Maybe she needs answers. Closure. Or maybe she just wants to connect with someone who gets it, who understands what she's going through.
So they meet, and what happens?
It's intense. Elliot has to tell her everything about the affair, relive it all, knowing it's going to hurt her all over again.
That's got to be tough.
It is. But it's also cathartic
Yeah.
in a way for both of them to finally talk about it. to someone who gets it.
To share that pain, that anger.
Exactly. And as they talk, they realize something. They're not alone. They have each other. And that's when things start to shift.
Their connection deepens.
It does. They start to heal together. But the source is careful not to make it like some fairy tale romance. You know, Molly's still hurt. She's angry. She wants to move on from all of this.
She doesn't want revenge.
No. She just wants a clean break from Paul and everything that reminds her of him.
So she's not interested in teaming up with Elliot to, like, get back at him or anything?
Not really. But she does do something. That shows her support.
Yeah.
She uses Elliot's lawyer for her own divorce.
Interesting. Little gesture that speaks volumes.
Right. Like, I'm with you on this. And she moves on with her life. Starts a new career in real estate. And guess what?
What?
She ends up being Elliot's real estate agent.
No way.
Wait, it's like fate bringing them together again.
So they start spending more time together.
They do, looking at houses, talking about their lives. And that shared pain slowly starts to transform into something else. Maybe. The source hints at it. This growing attraction, this undeniable connection they have.
It's kind of sweet when you think about it. Finding love after all that heartbreak.
It is. And they buy a house together. The one that Molly was showing Elliot.
Yeah.
The one she said she'd love to live in.
Oh, that's so cute. But wait, what about Emma, Elliot's daughter? How does she fit into all of this?
That's a good question. The source doesn't shy away from that. It talks about the challenges of blending a family after divorce, after betrayal.
Especially after something so public, so messy.
Right. But Elliot's careful. He takes it slow. Yeah. And Molly, she's amazing with Emma. They really connect.
So they become like a real family.
They do. Emma starts calling Molly, Molly Mom, and eventually just Mom.
So Elliot and Molly, they get their happy ending. But what about Mandy? What happened to her after everything?
The source kind of paints this picture of her, like hitting rock bottom. She loses it all. Her career, her marriage, her reputation, everything she worked for, it's gone.
And she's forced to confront, like, the consequences of her actions.
Exactly. She starts going to therapy, trying to figure things out, trying to understand why she did what she did.
It takes a lot of courage to face your demons like that.
It does, and it's not easy. The source makes that clear, but she starts to change. She starts to see the pain she caused.
To Elliot, to Emma.
To everyone. And eventually, she reaches out to Elliot and Molly.
Wow, that must have been a difficult conversation.
It was, for everyone. But she apologizes. She tells them how sorry she is for everything.
And do they forgive her?
It's not that simple. You know, the source doesn't really give us a clear answer. But they do meet up, all of them, in California, with Emma.
So there's a chance.
Right.
That they can move forward.
Maybe. For Emma's sake. They're trying to be civil, to co-parent. But the hurt, it's still there.
Yeah. Betrayal like that, it leaves scars.
It does.
Duh.
But, you know, life goes on. Elliot focuses on his career. He's back in Colombia, working at his old agency.
Things are looking up.
Right. Well, not exactly. Turns out the scandal, it's followed him. His boss calls him in, so the clients are getting nervous about the publicity.
Seriously, they're blaming him for his ex-wife's actions.
It's not fair, but it's the reality. They basically tell him to find a new job.
So he's out of a job. Again, after all that, it's like one step forward, two steps back.
But Elliot, he's a resilient guy. He doesn't give up. And that's when Bill comes back into the picture.
Bill, always there to save the day.
Right. He suggests they start their own agency together in Colombia.
What a great idea. Combine their talents, their experience.
And that's what they do. And they're successful right away. They even land this big client who loves Bill's viral marketing ideas.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? The thing that brought Mandy down is now helping Elliot succeed.
You could say that. Yeah. It's like this full circle moment.
So Elliot ends up happy, successful, with a new family and a thriving business. It was amazing.
He went through hell. But he came out stronger on the other side.
What a story. And what a deep dive. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. But I think what we can all take away from this is that even when things seem hopeless, there's always hope. There's always a chance to start over.